Guest tonight is someone who I have such a high level of respect for. She is the founder of Giving Hope and Help, Miss Jessica.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am blessed.
Yes, you are.
Truly blessed. You know, my family started the first bus company in Johnson County.
Wow.
And so I told my parents, and my parents said, if you go to Southern, you on your own, because you got a full ride over here.
Right.
For everything you have suffered and survived, there's purpose. I've seen grown men cry.
I'm about to cry right now. What's good, world? It's your boy Big Jax, and you are inside that KC Juice.
The juice.
That's right. We doing our thing. We back here inside the juice. We got a great guest in the house tonight. I can't wait to get to her. But before I do, I got to get to my main man, my partner, my dog, my co-host, the Stitch Wizard.
Yes, sir.
Waters in the house. What it do, Ethan?
Man, I'm up in here with you.
Yes, sir. Doing our thing, getting it on.
Yes.
So, as I said, we have such a special guest in the house. Before I get to that, make sure you guys go out right now, like this video, subscribe, drop us a comment as well along the way as you watch the show. It really helps us as we start to push this out, baby. We gotta let the world get this, you feel me? So you guys make sure you do that for me. As I said, our guest tonight is someone who I have such a high level of respect for. I've seen her work so hard to fulfill this mission that she's on, and raise her family and be a good wife, and it is just. So, like I said, I have so much respect for her. She is the founder of Giving Hope and Help. She does so many things, and we'll be talking about that for sure.
Yeah.
Miss Jessica.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am blessed.
Yes, you are.
Truly blessed. Truly blessed to be alive.
Yes, absolutely.
You know.
That's for real.
I'm here.
Yeah.
We're here.
We're glad you're here, too, for
Thank
sure.
you. Glad
So, my initial question is generally, tell me about your Kansas City roots, like with elementary school, what part of town, all of that. Like, how did you grow up here?
Wow. It's a story.
Yeah.
So I am actually from the Kansas side.
Okay.
So my parents moved to the Missouri side when I went to first grade.
Okay.
So kindergarten I went to Flint Elementary.
Got you.
And that's the Shawnee School District.
Okay.
And man, we moved over to Missouri, and I went to D.A. Holmes Elementary School for first and second grade. Third grade went over to Kensington Elementary School, which is now Kansas City Girls Prep, that building.
I actually went to Carver Christian.
You went to Carver? I remember when it was Carver Christian in that building.
Yes.
So went there, and then 4th through 6th went to Askew, which is no longer Askew Elementary, which is no longer open up on Topping off of close to Van Brunt East Side. And then junior high went to Ashland Junior High School, 7th, 8th grade.
That's going towards Independence, right?
No, Kansas City, Missouri, right in the heart of East Side.
Okay.
Right
Ashland.
off of 25th and Jackson over there.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, and so the school is torn down now.
Gotcha.
And then high school, 4 of the best years of my life.
Okay.
Were at East High School. East High School Bears. Yes. Green, black, and white, honey. I was green, black, and white crazy.
Wow.
7th, 8th grade, I was purple and white. I was just crazy about purple.
East Bears.
So
my mother worked for Kansas City Public Library.
Okay.
And when they had a library in the school, that's where she was over that branch.
Wow.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of hours when I was out of school. That was what I did. I went to work with my mama.
Wow. At East.
Yes, the East Bears. Yes, ma'am.
East Bears. Loved my high school. Loved everything about school. Just loved school, period.
What did you do in school? I know you were active.
Well, I was active in all the things. I was not an athlete, but I was the basketball statistician.
Okay. Wow.
So I was in all of the choir and student council and DECA and all things educational. I was a bookworm. So I used to go to the library. I used to ride my bike at 9 years old. I'll never forget. Now, just imagine a 9-year-old girl riding her bike now to the local neighborhood library. So I would ride my bike to the library, my little yellow white bike with the sunflowers on the seat, with the white basket in the front. I would ride my bike to the library in my neighborhood, and I would be there, Steve, for hours. And I think about that as an adult. Like, where did this love for books and reading come from? I always loved books and reading. I was that girl in the neighborhood that I had school in my bedroom, and the kids came over, and I was the teacher. But I would spend hours in the library.
Yeah.
And my parents would have no idea where I was. I mean, they knew I was at the library, but how do they really know I'm at the library?
Why is she still at the library?
Well, I'm 9 years old, right? And bike parked out front, not locked up, still there when I come out, you know.
Yep.
But that's kind of the way I grew up, and riding my bike in the neighborhood and having fun and playing kickball and growing up with my family on the Kansas side, picking greens and selling greens on 31st in Brooklyn.
Wow.
With my grandparents in the truck. So they were on the Kansas side and were farmers and had land with garden.
Gotcha.
And before them, my family started the first bus company in Johnson County.
Wow. Talk about that.
Yeah. So that is just amazing how my great grandfather fought in the Civil War at 15 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Bought his freedom and came from Tennessee to the Kansas side, Johnson County.
Johnson County.
He and my great-great-grandmother had 14 children.
Wow. Wow.
And the 14th child was my great-grandfather.
Okay.
Robert Lee McClellan, Sr., who I actually grew up with. And so when I went to kindergarten at Flint Elementary, he lived across the street.
Wow.
And so I would, at 5 years old, walk from Flint over to his house by myself. Who does that today at 5?
Yeah.
And so my sisters, they were older, 4 and 6 years older, so they had all day. I had a half day kindergarten, back then it was half day. And so I would go over to my great grandfather's house and literally grew up with him until I was through junior high is when he passed.
Gotcha. What a blessing.
But I grew up around these buses, these buses, and he started the first bus company in Johnson County. My great-great-grandfather wanted his children to be educated. He knew that education was your passport out of poverty and slavery and all the things. And my great-grandfather, Robert, was the 14th child, had a third-grade education, but his own children, who was my grandfather, could not go to school in Johnson County. Now, they were amazing farmers and gave to the community with their produce and things like that, and were pillars in the community, but could not go to school in the county that they lived in.
In the whole county.
In the whole county, in Johnson County. And so my great-grandfather, Robert, started his own bus company with a makeshift, his agricultural bus. He makeshifted into a bus to transport kids from Johnson County to Wyandotte County. To ride the bus from Johnson County to Wyandotte County, they would pass 5 white high schools.
Absolutely.
Before they could find one, which was, of course, Sumner High School at the time, now Sumner Academy. And so my grandfather and many of my cousins and family graduated from Sumner High School and Sumner Academy when they changed the name. But it's just an amazing, amazing contribution that he made, inroads from Johnson County to Wyandotte County for students to have the right for a public education.
Yeah.
And so because of his efforts in justice and education, he is a forever pillar in the county of Johnson County, being featured prominently and permanently, my family, at the Johnson County Museum.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes, and he's also on the mural at the City Hall of Shawnee. And just last Friday, I was honored to just be able to speak about my family's history at the groundbreaking ceremony of Ride KC and KCK. So they're doing a renovation project with new transportation.
By the community college.
No, it's actually down at 7th in Minnesota is where they did the groundbreaking.
Okay.
And so that's where I spoke. And so they're, revitalizing the transit for Ride KC. And so they said that, it's about transit. So my family provided transportation for Kansas City, Kansas. And then they ended up, providing transportation for students in Missouri and churches and just other things. And that agricultural makeshift bus ended up being a fleet of 14 buses.
Nice.
So I grew up around these buses. I really didn't know what this meant.
How important it was.
Until I, got old enough to understand. But it is no surprise how God works.
Right.
And so I carry on that legacy, our legacy from slavery to school buses.
And it's funny because of the environment that we're currently going through. The best way I could put that. The idea of a story like that being anything but positive.
Yeah.
Or at least anything but inspirational.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me because when you consider that this man's children were not allowed to go to school anywhere in the county of Johnson County.
Correct.
And he made a way for not only his kids, but the other kids that were there as well to make sure that they got what they needed and got that opportunity. And he overcame.
Yeah.
And that's what this story that we tell as blacks in this country is really about. It's really about overcoming the obstacles.
Right. It's more than bringing your table. It's about bringing your whole being, bringing your whole person to whatever it is that you're facing. And so he not only provided transportation for students, like I said, for churches, and the bus company ran for 39 years. My dad started driving the bus at 16.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine driving a school bus at 16, but he was able to do that. And, my grandfather, my dad's dad, he and his siblings, it was 5 of them, they continued this bus company, even when my great-grandfather was no longer able to do it. And so it was a family thing.
Yeah.
My great-uncle drove my mother to kindergarten, unbeknownst to him that this little girl will one day marry his nephew.
Wow.
So, it's just full circle. You never know who you're carrying around, and women, you never know who you're carrying in your womb. So, these are people that have really changed the trajectory of lives in our city.
Yeah, really.
And providing transportation for them to have a full public education.
Yeah.
And so we just carry on that legacy.
Do you think that's what kind of aligns you toward working with other people, knowing your history and feeling like you had to do that?
You know what? I think it's just in the DNA. And I always say that.
The expectation.
How my great-grandfather, fought for freedom and came to Kansas and instilled in his children, education. Although my great-grandfather did not have a full education, but he wanted his children. It's kind of like we're going to get there if we just keep, if we keep instilling the story and keep instilling what we need to do to come out of poverty and to move forward in freedom. Yeah. Education is freedom.
Yeah.
It's freedom. Health is wealth. Education is freedom. And so I think it was kind of like in my DNA. I spoke about my grandparents having a garden and me selling greens on 31st and Brooklyn in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, their garden was in Kansas, near them in Argentine, but they sold greens and produce at 31st and Brooklyn. Wow. Which is unbelievable that it's a rock's throw from where my office is.
Right.
But 31st and Brooklyn, I would be a little girl in the big green truck, and it'd be full of greens. It was 3 bushels for $1 at the time. Wow. And I can remember a woman coming up. In this particular day, it was just my grandmother and I. And I could remember a woman coming up saying, I need 3 bushels of greens, but I just don't have it. I don't have money. And I can remember my grandmother saying, get up there in the truck and get her. I was excited. I was the one doing the, giving out the produce.
Right.
And so I was like, 3 bushes, here's 3 bushes, Grandma. And so she said, get her 3 bushes. And so I gave her 3 bushes. And that was the first time, I think I must have been maybe 8 or 9 years old. I can remember, not the woman's face, but I can remember the feeling that I felt of seeing my grandmother give this woman something that we had been selling to everybody else. And that just registered with me, and I never forgot, and I watched my grandparents feed the community. I watched them take in people. I watched them feed on Sunday after church. People could come and eat. I watched them farm. I watched them have cows and all the things. My mother said that she had free reign to steak when she was pregnant with me. She ate steak every day. To this day, I don't eat steak. I think that's why. But I watched my grandparents give to the community. And so I think it was just an untold lesson by the way you live. And so I just think it's important the way you live in front of your children.
Does it still do that for you today? Like when you know you're really truly helping somebody, you get that same
it's
dopamine type feeling because you chase it.
It's a feeling, there's sensories that goes off in your hypothalamus when you do kind things to people.
Right.
And so I think I'm addicted to that feeling of just helping others, meeting the needs of the community and making a difference. That's the tagline of the nonprofit that I founded 12 years ago. Just meeting the needs of the community and making a difference, because there's so many people in need. I can't, meet everybody's need, but if I can reach and touch one, that makes a difference.
Absolutely.
So I just think that, helping and supporting is in my DNA.
Yep.
And it's just the way I was raised.
Yes, it was who raised you.
Yeah. And my parents, they were the house on the block and in the neighborhood where you could come and get
Everybody could come.
something to eat, or you could, my mother would teach the girls in the neighborhood how to sew. It was just.
I love your mama.
Yes, that's Mama Pat. She's an amazing gift.
Yes.
To everybody.
Yeah.
That knows her. All of my friends loved her in school, and she was, just married into a family that is that way. My mother is an amazing survivor of, being the third child of 14.
Wow.
My grandmother, her mother, was my hero. I don't even understand. I tried to get her to help me to understand in my mind how you can raise 14 kids. And they're just stair steps,
Right.
And 2 of them were born in the same year, 1 in January, 1 in December.
Wow.
And I just said, Grandma, how did you do this? And she said, every time your grandpa would hang up his trousers, I knew I was going to get pregnant. I was like, oh my God, all these kids. And so the reason she's my hero is because I never met my mom's dad, her husband. He and my grandmother had 14 children. He passed at an early age of 48.
Wow.
And when he passed, my mother was out of the house. She was the third of 14. So 3 children were out of the house when he passed at 48, but 11 were still in the home.
Wow.
So my grandmother, Hattie Neoma Spearman.
Say that name again.
Hattie Neoma Spearman. I didn't even know her name was Hattie until I was an adult. She just went by Neoma.
Okay.
So Neoma. Hattie Neoma Spearman raised 11 children by herself. She dedicated her life to her children, her church, first to God, to her church and to her children in her community. And she retired from the Kansas City, Kansas courthouse after 30 years.
Wow.
Never had another husband, never had a boyfriend, never had another man.
Wow.
Dedicated her life to her church, her community, her God, her children, and playing the piano until she was 88 years young.
Wow.
At church.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was an amazing gift. And what the blessing behind my grandmothers, they were very close friends, both of them, and they lived right over the hill from each other in Argentine, Kansas.
Wow.
And so my parents, who made 61 years of marriage until my father passed, which was 2 years ago, they were like girlfriend, boyfriend from elementary school.
Right.
And married for 61 years.
Married for 61.
So, on Sundays it was eat at my grandparents' house and then go to my other grandmother's house over the hill and eat some more or have more family time. So family is just really big, really, really, really big for me. And just carrying on that legacy of, on the McCallum side, from slavery to school buses to scholarships, which is what we do at Giving Hope and Help, and to service to all mankind. That's kind of like the legacy. And, the McCallops and the Spearmans have some amazing stories of legacy of their children and grandchildren just moving on to do great things in the community because having not. And I always say, for whatever you have suffered and survived, there's a purpose. We suffered through injustices and racial divides and all of the things, which we still have a lot of work to do, but there's purpose in it.
Yeah.
And so just last week, I find myself speaking at an event, that majority of the people did not look like me. That's my grandparents' father. They couldn't even imagine speaking to a group of people that didn't look like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I always say I am my grandparents' wildest dreams.
Literally.
My people, my people, my people. It's your boy Big Jax, and as y'all know, I gets down on the grill. And I know what good food is. And man, I got some heat for y'all. I can tell you where the best burgers, wings, barbecue, or really anything in the city. But let me tell you about the best hot dog in the city. KC Hot Dog King is not only a sponsor of the KC Juice podcast, but by far the best glizzy you can find in KC. So much so, they guarantee the best glizzy or your money back. So for all my people planning events and looking for a great catering option that everybody will enjoy, don't look any further than KC Hot Dog King. Voted best hot dog by the Kansas City Star 2 years in a row. From weddings to pool parties, they will cater it all. Follow them at KC Hot Dog King on Facebook, IG, and TikTok. And if you want to book them, call them at 816-287-1583 or shoot them an email at kchotdogking@gmail.com. Tell them Big Jax and the Juice sent you. Big love to KC Hot Dog King for holding us down with the best glizzies in the city.
So let's step back just a little bit before we go to Giving Hope and Help. So it's coming. It's like this behemoth that's sitting out there. It cannot be missed. You graduate from high school at East. What is your professional career like before you got to the nonprofit end?
Sure. So I have 29 years of sales and management under my belt that I believe prepared me for what I'm doing today. When I graduated high school, I went to college, Texas College at HBCU in Tyler, Texas on a full ride.
What school?
Texas College.
Texas College.
Texas College in Tyler, Texas. I went on a full ride. Changed my mind on my major. Wanted to go, it was a small private HBCU, but I wanted a bigger HBCU experience. And so I said, I'm going to transfer to another college. And back then we didn't have the internet. So I got the book, the big book. I don't know if any of you remember that big book of American colleges and universities. And in that book, I looked for the HBCU that had the largest enrollment. Because I wanted a larger HBCU experience, right? That was just my thing. I want a larger HBCU experience. Well, at the time, I had an amazing high school counselor that helped me get the scholarship to Texas. And she graduated from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Well, when I looked in this book, Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, had the largest enrollment at the time. And I was like, oh my God, that's Miss Britton's college. I'm already out of high school at this point, but I remember that was her college that she talked so much about when I was in high school, because she really mentored me throughout high school. And so I said, I'm going to Southern. So I just said I'm going to Southern.
Make the decision.
Yeah, and so I told my parents, and my parents said, if you go to Southern, you on your own, because you got a full ride over here.
Right.
Now I'm going somewhere with this story.
Okay.
So you got a full ride and you going to Southern? Why would you leave a full ride scholarship? If I didn't have to pay for a book.
Right.
Why would you leave a full ride scholarship? You're doing well. I had a 3.8 GPA and 33 credit hours my first year, finishing my first year. And so I said, I want to go to a school where I have a larger experience. So Steve, my parents said, you're on your own if you go there. Well, I had worked all through, I started an internship in corporate America in 11th grade. So I had been saving my money, just, the little bit of time that I had been in college with my internship. So I said, I'll work whatever I got to do, because that was in my DNA, right? So work, what's that? I've been doing that anyway. I worked, I started working volunteering at Truman Medical Center at 13 as a candy striper.
Wow.
So
Candy striper.
yeah, candy striper. You remember the little, So I was like, I'll work and I'll do it. So back then, of course, no internet. So I did everything via phone and mail. Applied and all that, got accepted, blah, blah, blah. A friend of mine that I graduated high school with, we were very close. She was going to Southern for the first time as a freshman. We graduated the same year, but she had that, what they call that, a year lag or whatever.
Right.
She didn't go for college for a year. So anyway, I was transferring as a sophomore. She was going in as a freshman. She said, well, you can stay in my dorm until you get a dorm. Because we're trying to work it out how I'm gonna get there. I don't even know how I'm gonna get there. So I get an airline ticket, 3 trunks of clothes, $125 in my pocket, no place to stay, no family there, never stepped foot in the state of Louisiana before. All of this is my parents are saying you're on your own if you get on this plane. So I get on the plane and go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My girlfriend, who I graduated from high school with, her friend picked me up from the airport, took me to her dorm on the yard. And I did not have a place to stay, so I'm bunking with her. And I am going to the dean, the housing dean, like something on TV at like 7 a.m., waiting for them to open, sitting on the steps, waiting for them to open, so I can see this man. 10 days. 10 days, 10 business days, I'm trying to get an appointment with this man.
Wow.
And the 10th day, they finally let me see him. And I walk in and I say, my name is Jessica McClellan. I am a transfer student from another HBCU. I'm transferring with the 3.8 GPA, 33 credit hours. I just gave him the rundown. I said, I have not called my parents in 10 days because I gotta have a place to stay before I call them.
Right.
I said, I need a dorm. And he was like, what is your name, young lady? And I said, my name again. I said, I need a place to stay. I have come here.
Right.
I am here. I need a place to stay. I said, I come here with $125 in my pocket.
Nice.
That's it, And he said, well, you need to call this person or whatever. So I got a dorm that day.
Wow.
Fast forward the next week, I am in line in the Mini Dome. And the Mini Dome is a replica of the Superdome in New Orleans.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So the Mini Dome is on the campus and it's shaped just like it. It's huge. And inside the Mini Dome is the financial aid office. And that is where you have thousands of students in line for financial aid. Now I left a full ride.
Right.
Okay? I'm in the Mini Dome.
In line.
In line.
He said in line.
In line.
Yeah.
For financial aid.
Yeah.
So I'm in line thinking, okay, I didn't have to do this to take college because I had a full ride.
You was already paid for it.
So I'm in line at Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. An hour goes by. Another hour goes by. I'm in line for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm in line for 6 hours. And the whole time,
It's like hazing.
it was unreal.
You want this money.
You gonna stand in this line.
You gonna stand in
And
this
so,
line.
you go to the restroom, the person holds your line, whatever, holds your place. So while I'm in line, the devil is literally tapping me. You must be some type of fool. Who would leave a full ride to go to stand in line and what are you doing? Can I tell you that in that line, a dream was born? In that line, I wished so badly I could taste being able to pay for me and everybody in that line. I said, God, I don't know what you're doing now. I'm a young girl. I'm 19 years old.
Yeah, you're a kid.
All I know is that there was a calling on me in that line.
Wow.
And I didn't know what it was, but I knew it had to do with getting people money and providing an inroad for them to go to college. So that was the pull.
Man.
It was an assignment for me to go to be in that line.
Yeah.
Because in that line is where the dream was born for Education is Your Passport Scholarship Program.
Right.
Had I not gotten in that line, you see, and stayed in Texas, where everything was paid, I didn't have to pay for a book, and it was smooth sailing, I would have not had the hardship. We go through hardships and we suffer and survive for purpose.
Yes.
And so that line was the reason that I can say now I've given away 159 college scholarships because I was in that line.
Wow.
That are
And God,
valued over $500,000, including the in-kind gifts and the resources that we've provided through the organization. That line was a 6-hour line, but that's not the end of the story. When I got up to the cashier at financial aid after the 6 hours, I was in the wrong line.
No.
Oh, no.
Stop it.
I am ready to walk off this podcast. I'm telling you. I was in the wrong, the anger, the tears that did nothing but roll down my face.
Oh, wow.
I was so upset. I was like, God, why would you have me stand in this line this long? But he was working on something, you see. And so I came back the next day and I had about 2 or 3 more hours. But I got in school. I got my financial aid, and I can remember needing yet $400. I can remember needing $400, and I called my grandparents. Because my parents, I was on my own.
You on your own.
And my grandparents wired me to Western Union $400 to get in school. Fast forward 4 years later, graduated with honors.
Nice.
But
Investment.
it was a purpose for me to be in that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't believe that Education is Your Passport would have been born.
Right.
Possibly through my
Maybe.
grandparents running the bus company.
Maybe.
But that 6-hour line, I was like, God, I just one day wanna give scholarships to people. All of this was going through my mind in line.
And you know, that's when I talk about the respect that I have for you, is the passion, absolute fire that burns for you to do what you do. And then you do it at such an excellent level on top of that.
Yeah.
And when you put that passion together with a sense of excellence like you have, you have not even yet seen what's going to become of what you're doing.
My God.
You have not even yet. You can't even imagine.
Well, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm just here.
So, what kind of sales did you do?
So, once I graduated Southern University, I went on to get my master's, but I remember I had an internship throughout college, and so I interned at St. Luke's Hospital.
Okay.
But my first corporate job was with another company, Hallmark Cards, here in Kansas City headquarters. And so I started there, and I was a sales rep there, and then I was promoted after my first year to another position. And then I took some time off to start my family.
Gotcha.
And then I went into pharmaceutical sales.
Okay.
And so I was in pharmaceutical sales for about 10 years, including durable medical equipment sales. So pharmaceutical sales and durable medical equipment sales, and then some other sales jobs in between.
Absolutely.
And ended up, my last corporate America job was with Cerner, which is now Oracle. I was a contractor for, my last position was with the Department of Defense, and so I traveled the country and trained doctors and nurses on the EMR system. And it was a lot because I did that while I was still working, giving hope and help. And that was 10-hour shifts. Doctors and nurses work a lot of hours, but we had 10-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And so after those shifts, I was, in a hotel room, traveling the country, and I was doing giving hope and help in the hotel room, and I knew that I could not maintain my health and just life doing basically 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And so my husband's just an amazing gift and supporter.
My man Kevin.
Wow, the story of how his grandparents just, fled to be free out of Alabama and come to Kansas City and got a home in Kansas City, and his parents ended up moving in to help take care of them, and for a while the home was vacant, and the home was given to us. And so we lived in Lee Summit at the time, and my husband said, we're gonna take the house. And I was like, it's gonna be a minor adjustment, right? But I was born and raised 4 minutes down the road,
Right.
and my parents were 4 minutes down the road. And so this is Midtown, Kansas City, Missouri, and my roots as well, and literally right down the street from the library that I used to spend hours at.
Wow.
And so we were gifted that home, inherited that home, and my husband said, you can come home, and just do giving hope and help full time.
Nice.
And so October the 6th, 2017,
Okay.
I left Whidbey Island in Washington State, finished my assignment, and have not gone back to corporate America since.
You.
And so this October to be 8 years
Yeah.
that I have not stepped foot in corporate America,
Yeah.
doing giving hope and help full time,
Yeah.
doing my assignment,
Yeah.
doing what I believe I was created to do.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
In addition to ministry. And so,
Right.
last year.
It is kind of ministry. I mean,
It
not
is.
kinda.
It is ministry.
It is.
But doing ministry and doing this as a ministry.
right.
So I accepted the call last year. The call's been on my life a long time, but I was just going to support my husband in that area, but went on a retreat January of 2024 and literally was in the wilderness alone.
Wow.
Literally in the wilderness alone on this retreat. And man, what you can hear God say when you get quiet.
Just get quiet.
When you get quiet and what you
In the
hear God
wilderness
say
alone.
and hear the nature, and I'm not a outdoor girl, so anybody who's seeing this, if you know me, that ain't me. But I wanted whatever God wanted for me to experience. And so in that time, there's a scripture that literally I stood on. And it was Hosea 2:14. He lured her into the wilderness and he spoke to her. And I was literally in the wilderness and he spoke to me.
Wow.
That I was to go into ministry with my husband. I'm like, no.
Gotta be a mistake here.
No, that's what my husband is
That's
doing.
what he does.
I'm just gonna, support him in that. And God said, he's the head and you're the leadership. Head and leadership roll together. So how can you be left behind? We need to roll together. So it is an assignment that God has us on to minister to other couples, and that's what we're doing. We're marriage coaches at our church, and just got our first couple that we're going to be coaching.
Nice.
And we're in school, so he's in school, I'm in school.
Wow.
To further our education. So anyway.
That is beautiful. So, hey everybody, it's your boy Big Jax. Man, I want to thank every single one of y'all for coming along this ride and jumping in this KC Juice with us, becoming part of this KC Juice family. Make sure you go and like, subscribe, and drop any comments down below. We appreciate every person out there checking us out. And we definitely got to give shouts out to the Chop Shop, where we have the official KC Juice merchandise. Man, y'all go and get this new merch. go to chopshopkc.com. That's chopshopkc.com. Pick up all your official KC Juice merch. Shouts out to the Chop Shop. They got the best embroidery, screen printing, signs, banners, graphics, anything you need. They're the ones that hook you up. chopshopkc.com. Once again, we thank you for your sponsorship. Thank you for all your love. It's your boy Big Jax. Peace.
That time period as you are coming out of corporate America and really giving hope and help really up and running. Like, talk about some of those early days. I really want you to talk about what it is that Giving Hope and Help, your mission.
Giving Hope and Help, yeah.
Because you have so many things that you do,
Right.
Talk about your mission.
Okay, so our mission, I kind of make it easy for people because we do a lot of things. So it centers around the 4 drivers of health. So just picture 4 quadrants. And the 4 drivers of health that we center around are ending period poverty for women and girls, which we launched in 2013. The whole organization launched in 2013 solely to end period poverty in domestic violence shelter for 2 reasons. Because of what I suffered and survived. I suffered and survived sexual assault as a teen, and I hid it for 20 years because I didn't have the safety, security, or space to get help. And found myself in an abusive relationship in my 20s and felt like I needed to give back. I also lost a very close girlfriend that I had no idea was being abused. He took her life. And over her grave, I stood as they lowered her down, and I knew that I had to do something. It was past time because she didn't know what I had been through, and I didn't know what she was currently going through. Because there's so much shame in domestic violence that we hold it to ourselves. And so I knew that I had to be a voice for the voiceless and a voice for myself who had not yet spoken. And if you are, in a relationship that is violent or where you can't be yourself, it doesn't have to be hitting. It could be financial abuse. It could be emotional abuse. It could be verbal abuse. These are all signs and forms of abuse that prohibit your growth, prohibit you from being who you are, and literally threaten your life. And so there is support. There is a way of escape for that. And that you can find all the resources on our website at givinghopeandhelp.org. There's also a number that you can call, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE, to get confidential help and an escape plan and all the things. There is a lot of support out there. And so I knew at that time that I had to do something. So we launched Giving Hope and Help to end period poverty and to support the organizations, domestic violence agencies and shelters that are supporting these women that need a life free of abuse. And so that has evolved with our mission to end period poverty from domestic violence shelters to natural disasters to literally around the world. My husband and I just came from Africa. Our products have gone into 19 countries and counting. So we have supported thousands of women and with this drive that we're going to have coming up in October, our 13th annual drive. And so that is one quadrant of our arms of outreach, so ending period poverty, and then domestic violence advocacy. And so we have picked that up with a way of escape from domestic violence initiatives. So we provide revenue and resources for women to pay for their lights, their gas, their car notes, security deposits, so they can live free of abuse. So they don't have to live with this abuser. They can get their own place, even though the light bill is $500 and they can't get their new lights cut on. So we come in and we partner with the other agencies, and we're just so grateful for the support of the state from the state that we have received, from the state of Missouri that we have received for that. So we got ending period poverty, domestic violence advocacy. Our last 2 quadrants are education is your passport with our scholarships, which carries on the legacy of my family of education, providing inroads and resources for education and scholarships, and then our cancer support. And so for all 4 arms of outreach, I have a personal story with ending period poverty. I had a very heavy cycle as a 7th grader all my life until I ended up having to have procedure and another procedure and eventually a hysterectomy. And that's a whole nother conversation. But if you are suffering from a heavy cycle like I was, again, for everything you suffered and survived, there's purpose. So I started ending period poverty in 7th grade and didn't know it.
Wow.
Because I was that girl in school that had a pad. And look, I'm talking to 2 guys about this, and you guys are like interested, right?
Yeah,
because it's just life.
It's life.
And this is...
We both have daughters.
Yes, this is... this is life. And so in 7th grade, I had seen 2 girls at school soil their pants at school. And I was just mortified. I was like, oh my God, I hope that never happens to me. That's just embarrassing, And from that moment on, I kept track of my cycle. I knew when it was going to start until sometime it trips up on you. For you women that's tuned in, you know what I'm talking about. It just has its own mind. And sometimes it come whenever it want to come. And I would make certain that I would keep track. So I would have a panty liner on the week before, the week of, the week before, the week after. I was not going to get caught. In my 7th grade mind,
Right.
I had this thing called, I'm going to beat my cycle this month. And so I had pads in my locker. I had pads in my purse. I always carried a purse. I fell in love with purses as a little girl. My dad did it. He bought me a purse back when I love my bags. I love my bags. This is what we do, right? We use them as fundraisers and all that. But I would always have a pad in my purse. I'd had a pad in my backpack and in my locker. So I was that girl in 7th grade. You got a pad. I had a pad. I had a pad for me. I had a pad for her. I had a pad for my classmates, right? A girl I didn't know. So unbeknownst to me, because of what I had suffered and was surviving, I had a pad for somebody else. Now I got pads for people all over the world because of what I suffered and survived.
Yeah. Because of what you suffered and survived.
Yeah.
In what you suffered and survived, there's purpose. Is that
Yes.
what you said?
For everything you have suffered and survived, there's purpose. Period.
That's
deep.
word right there. That's a t-shirt.
Period.
deep,
Yeah. That's my thing. Whatever you suffered and survived. And so the last one is the cancer. I did not have cancer, but I watched my niece battle cancer. And seeing her, she was my live baby doll. I mean, my sister had her when she was a teen, and so my niece was born in our home, in our family home, and I collected dolls. I love dolls. I had over 100 dolls in my bedroom. But when my niece was born, I put them down. She was my live baby doll. I was 13 years old when she was born, and I was taking that girl on the metro to shop downtown in Kansas City, Missouri at Jones, and I was just, I was like, Mom, you let me do that? I was 13, but you could do things back then. Anyway, she was my live baby doll, and she was diagnosed with cancer at 27, and she fought cancer like a woman, a girl, a boy, and a man for 6 years. Wow. And I watched her go through that. And because of what she suffered and survived, I wanted to do something for her and other people that were, battling cancer in the hospital at holidays. And so we picked 2. Valentine's Day, and your wife has supported and your family has supported, and Mother's Day, to bring bags filled with things, inspirational items and toiletries and fun stuff, to bring them to the cancer patients in hospital cancer units. Wow. And we have done that for since February 14th, Valentine's Day 2015. And over 700 cancer patients have received love bags in my niece's honor. And the pandemic didn't stop us. We mailed bags to cancer patients that were nominated during the pandemic. But now, of course, we're back in the hospital doing this for Valentine's and Mother's Day. So many people have passed of cancer, and so many people have survived.
Yeah. Right.
And these bags give people hope. Coming into a patient's room, and they have no idea you're coming, and you're coming in with balloons, and you're coming in with gifts of people that don't even know you, and you're offering prayer and song and words of encouragement and gifts. Yeah. I've seen grown men cry.
I'm about to cry right now.
Especially when we did it for the Veterans Hospital. Because most of the veterans that we did it for, they would say, I I've never even received a Valentine. I've always been the one given, you know? And so for grown men that were veterans who served our country, every man who served our country deserves a Valentine, you know? And so this Love Bags for Cancer is simply filling love bags with love and walking in and just uplifting these patients and giving them hope on their some on their deathbed and some rise from their deathbeds. Some leave, but we've had an opportunity to meet them and remember their faces and remember their names and put a smile on their face. And so my niece suffered it. I survived it. My niece suffered it, but she's free now. And so because of her suffering, you know, we have decided to do something special. To turn that pain into purpose. And so that's what we do. So those are our 4 arms of outreach: ending period poverty, domestic violence advocacy and support through our way of escape from domestic violence, cancer support with our Love Bags for Cancer, and also our Education is Your Passport program. And with our Love Bags, I do want to add that we have a series of Love Bags. So we have our Love Bags for her, which are our purses, which are filled with all the things. These are gently used or new designer purses, nice tote bags that we fill with 20 or more items, and we give it to a woman on the street in the houseless community. So she gets a Dooney or Michael Kors or Vera Bradley or a Coach. And oh my God, the first time I gave one out, Steve, I literally cried all the way home because this woman was so grateful. She was so grateful, not for the bag, not for what was in the bag other than the period products. She looked in the bag and she said, I'm on my period right now. And I wept. I just could not, I did the ugly cry because I was like, how could you be on the street homeless? I would be a mess not having the products that you need. You know what I mean? And so she took that bag and she said, I need these right now. And she went off into this building and she took care of her business. And that just really, 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 I was like, oh my God. You know? And so the Love Bags for him are backpacks. You guys don't care about designer purses, so we give you just some simple backpacks or a plastic bag, a 2-gallon plastic bag filled with all the things. You know, you get the shaving cream, the socks, and you know all the things in these bags. And right now we have lots of backpacks. So we've got some men backpacks ready made, and I try to keep a backpack in the vehicle. So when I see somebody, keep a towel covered it because you know we don't want nobody breaking in your car. But we give this bag, and man. The feeling, there it is again. You know, the feeling of giving hope and help to somebody else. You know,
how many people would you say I mean, I know there's no specific number, but how many people do you think you help a year?
Oh, a year, thousands, because we give so many period products, you know, across the country. And so it's easier for me to give you a number of how many nonprofits we support. We've already supported over 200 nonprofits just this year with filling requests for period products, for our Education is Your Passport, Operation Backpack. Operation Backpack is a part of our Education is Your Passport program. We partner with Councilwoman Raina Park Shaw, Mayor Pro Tem Raina Park Shaw. This was our 6th year partnering with her. It's always the first Saturday in August. And so this first Saturday in August was just a few weeks ago. We gave away 11,000 period products on just that one day in that area. And then across town on the Kansas side, we have a free period pantry. So at our free period pantry, every first Saturday of the month, except for January and July, we have a free period pantry on the Kansas City, Kansas side, where women, families can come. They can get free period products. You know, for August, we gave free period products and backpacks, school supplies. For May, we gave free period products. The women that came, they had no idea. They could pick between a Michael Kors, a Coach, a Vera Bradley, Tommy Hilfiger. They could pick designer purses with their period products for Mother's Day weekend. So it's just whatever we do, We do it with a lot of love. We do it with a lot of care and concern.
Excellence.
Excellence. We want to meet the needs of the community. There are so many people in need. We still have people calling us, Steve. We have people come today to get backpacks. We had a mom come this past Friday that has 6 children. She was unable to make any of the community backpack giveaways. We received a huge flux of school supplies just last week, and we put it on social media. She came last Friday and got backpacks for all 6 kids.
Nice.
Single mom, 6 kids. This is why my grandmother was a total hero.
Yeah.
I mean, she had 11 yet in the home.
Yeah.
When my grandfather passed, 14 children. You know, man.
Wow.
So we just want to help however we can. We want to collaborate, not just Giving Hope and Help being a silo, but we take pride in collaborating and locking arms with other nonprofits that are doing the work that we can jump on to and say, hey, Giving Hope and Help can support your, you know, your silent auction if we have the means to do so. We can throw a dooney in your silent auction, or we can, you know, share it on our social media. So we want to be intentional, Steve, about partnering with other nonprofits, and having reciprocal relationships.
Right.
Because we've supported so many nonprofits that have not been reciprocal. Now, we're not giving just to get back.
Correct.
But it helps.
It
It
makes
helps
it work.
us move the needle of the mission.
Right.
When we can collaborate, and you can put it on your website, and you can put it on your website.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what it's all about.
Period.
Collaborating so we can meet more people
Correct.
and meet more needs
More
of the
needs.
people.
Yes.
And get more donors.
Yes.
So we haven't talked about that.
Bigger impact.
We need
Yeah.
donors.
Okay.
We need funding.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what we're doing. We're meeting the needs of the community,
Yeah.
making a difference. My husband has been speaking life over $1 million donor since we started Giving Hope and Help. Is it you?
Is it
GivingHopeandHelp.org. You can find me.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it you? And people ask me all the time, you know, how do you get your funding? Well, we apply for grants. But I believe that every person that listens to my story or listens to our mission is a potential donor.
Absolutely.
And so right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people to donate $12 a month.
Okay.
We're just trying to get you and your neighbors to say, look at our mission, look at our website. If it registers with you, if it makes sense to you, give us $12 a month. It's about 40 cents a day. About 40 cents a day is what we're asking. It's our 12-12-12 campaign. This is our 12th year of making a difference in the community.
$12 a month.
So we're asking for $12 a month for 12 months. And now next year, it's going to be 13 years, so you get it, right? And next year, but that'll be 14 years.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get, if we can get 1,200 people to do $12 a month, that'll satisfy our operating expenses on a monthly basis.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's huge, you
Yeah.
know. What do they say? How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a
A
time.
little bit at a time.
So 1,200 people. That's
Giving $12 a month.
Giving $12 for 12 months will operate your organization for an entire year.
And see, the thing of it is most people, if they say, oh, I can commit to a year for that.
Yeah.
It's only $12, so they're really not gonna miss it.
Right.
So they probably won't stop their donation, hopefully, right?
Right.
But if you can't do $12, if you can do 5, if you can do 5,
Right.
you know, if you can do 5, or if you can do $60 a year, or whatever it may be. Some people say, I don't want to do $12 a month. Let me just give you $144. 12 times 12 is 144. That works too.
That works too.
Here is
Absolutely.
my motto for our volunteers and for our donors.
Okay.
Do what you can, when you can,
Yep.
how you can. And when we put it all together,
Yeah.
we can make an impactful difference, period.
Period. I love
So
it.
your $5 and your $3, I had somebody, I still got this $3 cash in my purse. Somebody gave $3 last week. That's what he had.
That's what he had.
And what I think about with that, I think about the woman in the Bible who gave the 2 little mites.
Yeah.
And God said that's more than what anybody gave because it's from here.
Yes.
So if you give from here,
Yeah.
God will multiply it.
Yes, he will. A little as much when you put it in the hands of the Creator.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I heard you say earlier how they spoke of your grandmother and what she did. Could you imagine what they're going to say about you?
Oh, I've never thought of that, but I can only hope.
You're keeping that whole dream alive. So
Man, if I could just be half as good as my grandmothers were.
you're doing it.
grandmothers.
I promise you.
I mean,
do it.
I hope that my grandchildren, I have 4. I hope that they're babies now, but I hope that they would, somebody catch on
Right.
and carry this legacy forward.
Yeah.
They will.
Because I know that my great great grandpa didn't know me because he was gone before I was born, but my great grandfather knew me. I don't know if my great grandfather, saw in me what I'm doing, but I can say that it's because of his legacy. It's because of what he did to change the trajectory of the community in Johnson County, and so that's why his face is on murals in the museum.
Yeah.
His Bible is in the museum. I've been a keynote speaker to carry on his legacy at the museum 3 times for Juneteenth.
Wow.
And I wore a shirt this Juneteenth when I was speaking there in June of 2025, and it said, "I am my ancestors' wildest dreams."
There it is. Wow.
And I thought, man,
Yeah.
if he can see this,
Right.
wow, everything you suffered and survived was for this purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
To carry this on, to carry the story on, like Alex Haley carried on the story of Roots.
Yeah.
Just continue to share the story.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do here, to be honest with you, because your story is so inspirational. We're overcome by the power of our testimony. So, the story that you tell and the legacy that you are building on is so inspirational in terms of what we can do. Legacy to me is so huge. Like, that's such an important part of life, is being able to build a legacy and to see the legacy that you have been able to take advantage of, the legacy that you were given, and now have just catapulted that to be able to do something that's world changing. 14 different countries, Jessica?
19.
19.
And counting.
And counting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. So you guys make sure you go to givinghopeandhelp.org and donate. If you're a donor out there, make sure you donate. If you give, I just saw that you announced your drive is going to be October
18th, yes, October 18th. We're driving period products and black hair care products. The domestic violence shelters have requested for years. They just don't get it.
Got you.
They don't get it. And as a woman of color, I cannot imagine not having my hair care.
Yeah.
So we're going to solve that.
Yeah.
We're going to solve it. They'll have all the period products, underwear, everything they need, toiletries, but we're focusing on period products and black hair care products. And you go to our website.
Go to the website, check out when and where. I know it's going to be at Metropolitan Community College.
Penn Valley, yes.
Penn Valley.
12 to 3.
October 18th. So we're gonna be there, of course, as always.
Yes. We want nonprofits to be there.
Yes.
And businesses.
Yes.
Because it's an expo.
Gotcha. So if you're a business owner out there and you want to get a chance to be out in front of a great market and help a great program, this is a chance to do that. If you're a nonprofit and you need to be able to speak to those who might need your services and are going to be impacted by the things that you do, you're welcome to be there.
Yes.
Like, what an event. I'm looking forward to that for sure. And
Thank you.
It's something that we, have always been part of, and I'm glad.
And I thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we can be part of it.
So Kappa Alpha Psi is going to be there.
Absolutely.
We want a challenge.
Okay. Gotcha.
You're a Kappa. Go ahead and put it out. I'm a Kappa, sweetheart. I didn't tell you that.
Got you. I knew there was a reason. So absolutely, of course, Kansas alumni, my brothers come through. So I'm definitely challenging all the brothers to come through. But then not only that, I'm going to challenge all the rest of you fraternities in particular. I'm talking man to man right now. The Qs, the Alphas, the Sigmas, the Iotas. I'm challenging each and every one of you organizations to come together and make sure you donate to Giving Hope and Help on October 18th as part of their drive to end period poverty, because it is such an important issue and something that, like Jessica said, 19 countries and counting. Like that is incredible to me that you've gone around the world from those days at G-Rap when we were
Just
getting started. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once again, man, make sure you guys go out, like this episode.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you leave a comment, because again, we need you guys in order to help us push this message out. Because as you see, we're not just here talking about nothing. We're
Right.
actually trying to make a
Issues.
difference.
Yeah.
We're trying to make a difference in this community. So, Heathen,
Yes, sir.
another good one, brother.
Beautiful one.
Yes, absolutely. Jessica, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you so
Thank you.
much. Absolutely.
Thank you.
People, as I always say, remember, in the words of the great Dad Vaughn, love makes the difference.
That's good.
This is your boy Big Jax. We are out. Peace. KC Juice.